the Johnny Dare Morning Show. And here's your host, Johnny Dare. Good morning, Kansas City. Here we are.
Have a great Friday, you motherfucker.
Yes, look at you. You ready?
Oh, I'm beyond ready.
I know. I've been
So
wanting to
ready.
do this show, too.
I know. I was up all night, actually, off and on thinking about it.
Tim Matheson is back on the show today, isn't he, Jake?
We get extra time with Tim Matheson, Eric Stratton from Animal House, The West Wing, Fletch, a very Brady sequel. His book is fantastic. It's called Damn Glad to Meet You.
No, and it's a bit of a bumpy ride. We had him on, but we get a short, one of those little publicity tours they do. So they're 10 minutes long, and it's just not enough if you really want to get into it.
Right.
Just being a child actor, being the voice of Johnny Quest, jumping into supporting his family. His dad was missing. They are out in California. The story's like, we got to talk to him. There's one crazy story about when he was a kid. They'd been sent to live with an uncle and an aunt, and they were nice people, good people, also church people, so they sent the kids to Sunday school. He and his older sister went, and then his sister came home, and then the Sunday school teacher gave him a drive. It was like, hey, did your dad ever let you steer the car? And he's like, yeah, maybe, whatever. You know, like, I want to do that.
Right.
So he does. Gets a real creeped out feeling a few minutes into it, and it's like, pushes himself over towards the door. The guy's like, what's wrong? And he's like, So he gets home, doesn't really say anything to anybody. But he tells his sister it was weird, I think. But the next time they decide they're not going to go back to Sunday school, the uncle and aunt leave on a Saturday night, and within 3 minutes, there's a knock on the door. And it's that guy. Like, he's clearly waited for the uncle and aunt to leave.
Ready for the opportunity.
And he tells his sister, don't let him in, and goes into a full panic. And she goes, hold on, walks away, comes back. She'd walked into the uncle and aunt's room. Somehow she knew, I'm sure being a kid, that there was a gun in the drawer. Opens the drawer, points it at the guy, and goes, don't you ever come back here. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm reading this. I'm like, she's like 10 or 11 years old at the time. He's like 7.
The stone's on her.
Yeah. And
God bless her.
He said years later, and we have to ask him about this, years later, he goes, that did happen, right? Like, I'm not making that up somehow.
Because sometimes it starts to drift away as you're a kid, yeah.
And she said, no, I thought you never wanted to talk about it. And she remembered it, absolutely. She remembered the whole story. But he's not even 7 yet in this book.
Right.
It just goes on to how it all went down, how he became Johnny Quest, meeting Lucille Ball, working with Dick Van Dyke, working with absolutely, the greats.
Yeah, Mel Brooks, like the cream of the crop.
Sheriff in Smokey and the Bandit. Gleason.
Oh, Jackie Gleason, yeah.
Yeah, Jackie Gleason taking him aside and showing him how to do things. Then jumping into Westerns with Michael Landon and Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
I mean, some amazing, it was Bonanza, that's right. Bonanza, and just amazing stories, man. And then we got to meet him. I didn't know who he was until he got to Animal House, one of the greatest comedies ever shot with John Belushi. And, one of the most amazing, he was honored. Yeah. And that propelled him into, of course, the rest of the world that we saw. Turning down MacGyver with Henry Winkler, the cocaine years, the fun club, they call it.
Yeah, he did like to party with the fun club.
Yeah, so we'll get into all of it, man. What it's like to be Tim Matheson. Damn glad to meet you.
Chris Goff will stop by. He will have sports news shorts for us on a Friday going into the weekend. Chiefs get the Panthers. Also, Josh Gates will stop by the show. Josh Gates, who's been with us a bunch of times, explorer, archaeologist, climber, and a diver. You know him mostly from Expedition Unknown, where he has traveled the world.
Last time we talked to him, he was looking for Nazi tunnels.
Yeah, so this is a new show. Expedition Files debuts next Wednesday night, and they do like a lot of the world's biggest either unsolved or like just the mysteries of the world, like who really was Jack the Ripper in London in 1880s London, stuff like that. And then the secret Nazi tunnels near Poland, which is, I don't know, it's just crazy.
Well, the secret Nazi tunnels where, they took everybody's wealth. Everybody. They just, they said, we're going to hold on to this for you, whatever they were going to do. But basically, when you were going to the camps, they cleaned out your bank account, they cleaned out your house, they cleaned out your jewelry, they cleaned out everything. And when it's millions of people, you amass an incredible amount of gold and jewelry.
Sure.
What happened to all of it? Not all of it's accounted for, and they still wonder, they still believe there's some Nazi trains they hid in tunnels, and then they blew when the Allies were coming to try to come back to get them later.
Yeah.
Because there was, what was the movie? It's a great movie. I think George Clooney was in it, about the Nazi, where they took all the art.
The Monument Men?
Monument Man. That's right. And it's a real squad.
Real story,
A real story about guys who went back to reclaim all these, priceless works of art. And, trust me, weird stuff.
Yeah.
Before I go off on a crazy tangent, super interesting stuff. So we'll talk to him at the Havana Syndrome, what was happening with all those people.
Havana Syndrome is super weird, where they were sending the magnetic pulses mostly to government employees.
It was EMPs, it was tones, it was rays, but these people are still sick. They were having heart palpitations, brain issues, nausea all the time. There's definitely sounds and tones that cops have learned, authorities have learned, that you can aim and beam and people will become very ill. But this was pretty insidious. This was a nonstop, constant thing, basically, to run them out of their embassy.
And got worse over time, so he will stop by. Josh Gates on the show, Tim Matheson on the show today, Chris Goff stopping by with Sports News Shorts.